that of Infamous, like that of Elite 8, one of the major Batiste player on the anime Save Me If Not, then Official Hind. But talking about this game itself, I don't see Blue City actually just fulfilling the Batiste role that maybe Impunity will or might be looking for, else Infamous will just pick up the Batiste. But we will be seeing the healers being banned out, and that would be Lyra going for banned out for the side of Impunity. And as for the second ban for the side of Infamous, honestly, they can ban out a lot of heroes. One of the heroes would be Batiste. There you go. Which is quite weird because I was talking about how Blue City cannot quite fulfill the Batiste role.
Yeah, I think Batiste it's an easy ban. There's nothing else that you need to get rid of. All the carries still on the fold. Idris, Black, Celeste, Scarf. The heroes we've seen banned quite a lot are still available because there's been a lot of captain emphasis in the ban phase. So I think Blackfeather still makes a lot of sense. Idris would make just as much sense as a pick. But if they want to run maybe a Celeste, then Blackfeather obviously makes sense now. They're going to take the Idris away. It's quite a smart call, and now there's really a lot that Infamous can do here. They could pick up maybe the Blackfeather Taka combo. Vox, we're going to see Vox Fortress? No, Vox Arden. So it's going to be probably a double weapon comp with the Infamous are going to run, and Impunity to counter this. Well, CP Idris is great against Vox, and so they just have to counter the Glaive, and Blackfeather does that perfectly.
Yep, definitely. So, all in all, they can just settle for the CP Blackfeather that Blue City has played before. But honestly, with the Glaive, Blackfeather in general is a very good counter into that of Glaive, because Glaive works on burst and Blackfeather works on sustain, and Blackfeather really wants to build that breaking point as well, and so can stay in fights for a very, very long time. And on top of that as well, with the Catherine providing the CCs, then Blackfeather will be a relevant pickup at this point in time. But we will be seeing a draft reset. However, we see a difference in terms of Catherine plays coming out from both teams from the first and second game. With Quartervore on Catherine, generally Quartervore plays a rather passive one. 19 minutes in, generally around 10 or 19 stacks if I remember correctly. Whereas when SNK was on that Catherine, SNK had about 25 stacks, about 10 or so, 19 minutes in. There you go. That is a timeline that I'm trying to gauge them at. And that is one thing that we must keep in mind as well. Quartervore used to be a very, very aggressive roamer. He can really just go in, land those stacks, and then bugger off afterwards and go in again. That way he can tank up for the team. And I mean, all in all, it is for good measure to have extra shield, extra armor at the end of the day. But the Arden being picked up by the side of Infamous, that is something I do not quite sit well with.
What captain would you have preferred to see as opposed to Arden? Obviously, Finn could have worked, but if maybe they don't want to play Finn, what else could they have gone with apart from the Arden?
I wanted to say Finn. So I will not say.
I said if they don't want to, they don't like playing Finn. The captain isn't comfortable playing Finn.
Yeah, there you go. Then Arden would be the next best choice. But honestly, with Vox and of course Glaive, I think Finn just works very well with both of these heroes. And if not, then we've seen a couple of Romadages, although not spectacularly well, but of course Arden or Finn will be the next best choice. Granted, for me, I would have preferred the Finn, not the Arden, but Arden provides relevant support and of course a space to duel in terms of that gauntlet as well. But of course Idris works very well in tight spaces. That is something to keep in mind. We will be seeing a CP Idris, I hope, and not a CP Cruel.
You can't really hope to you can't hope to see a CP Cruel. You can dream to see a CP Cruel. I think, it's almost certainly going to be a CP Idris, and I hope that he's going to build Frostburn first and not Shatterglass, because Vox is just going to be able to dodge all your Chakrams if you go Shatterglass first. Whereas if you go Frostburn, it'll be a lot harder for Vox to dodge, and you'll get a lot more damage out in the team fight. But we just have to wait and see what he decides to go for. In terms of the draft, I think it's very even between these two teams. You've got a double weapon comp, which means Idris will be itemized against that, but with probably an early metal jacket as compared to what you normally get on CP Idris. But that also means that Cruel can't build as much tankiness as he might want, because most Cruels want to build double defense Aegis and metal jacket, or Aegis and Atlas. but the Aegis is pointless in this composition unless they go Crystal Vox, which they probably won't. So maybe that means Cruel has to build a way he doesn't want to, and this could be in favour of Infamous.
Yep, definitely. But Blue City on Cruel, I think I've seen him play Cruel a couple of times, and I think he is the one that came up with Spell Sword we saw in a few games back, and it worked out pretty well for him because he just wants to stay, and he tanks up generally. He has a Spell Sword, he has got a Swifty, and he just goes for a lot of tank items, be in front, and want to stay in a fight for a very, very long time, just stacking up stacks after stacks. So that is one thing to keep in mind, and I must agree with you. But however, Spaghetti might go for the CP Vox.
Yeah, double attack speed is very odd for a start on any kind of Vox, be it weapon or crystal, because obviously that is good for early game attack speed, but surely you want a little bit of weapon power. That will help you with farming, and even if you're going CP Vox, the Book of Eulogies might be useful. So that does imply that you might be going for weapon power because CP only has one attack speed item, whereas weapon power does have multiple. And it looks like both teams started with their backs together and now contesting over this Elder Treant. And we are going to see a weapon power Cruel, so that's confirmed. And Shingy is able to secure the Treant with the Twisted Stroke. Now Impunity just going to back off and go to farming.
Yeah, and there is one thing to note as well. I know there is an emergence of a certain Vox build where they go maximum attack speed with basically double tornado trigger and what have you, not very similar to that of Petal, but I must agree with you, Weapon Blade would just allow Spaghetti to farm, have an easier time in lane in terms of farming overall. But all in all, I guess the extra attack speed helps you clear as well and put out much more basic attacks in a shorter period of time, and that way you can just out-farm DevQ as an Idris, which has a lot of trouble in that early game in terms of farming.
Yeah, and Idris is going to have a real tough time wave up. It's been pushed in very nicely by Spaghetti. I'm so interested to see what kind of build that is going to be. And Bluestee's looking like he wants to try and secure this Elder Treant, but he is 1 versus 3. And Spaghetti doesn't have vision in that bush, but Cruel didn't quite go invisible in time. So Infamous able to secure the Elder Treant, and DevQ still stuck, just trying to farm this wave under turret. I mean, Vox did lose a little bit of CS, but he is free to build up even more attack speed, and he is going weapon power, confirmed with a couple of weapon blades. So it could be a tension bow double tornado trigger build that we've seen on Vox. Maybe it'll be an all new kind of Vox build that might utilize Poison Shiv early on, maybe an early waking point.
Yeah, if not, we are seeing Chingy going for the Storm Crown, which means we might see an on-hit glaive here. If not, just an Aftershock Storm Crown, Tension Bow, or Tension Bow Aftershock Storm Crown, either or. But we might just see all the 3 items as cores for Chingy, just for that accelerated cooldown on that Afterburn, just to set for Spaghetti on that Vox Blue City.
Yeah, speaking of Afterburn, Blue City going to be punted back. Quite what you wanted, and unable to even try and steal away this Treant. Well, I wasn't even thinking about the Crystal Power Glaive because it's so long to Glaive be effective with the nerfs to the Afterburn cooldown. But I guess it still can work going Aftershock. Perhaps we're going to see an Aftershock, Stormcrown Aftershock Spell Sword build on this Glaive. Maybe we're going to see that being used. It will help him with a bit of energy, a bit of weapon power as well. But it's more likely that we're going to see lots more cooldowns, so a clockwork could work. Even a contraption on Crystal Glaive actually does really well, just giving you way less cooldown on your Afterburn. But yeah, I'd love to see what Shingy decides to come up with this more support version of the Glaive.
Yep, definitely. I mean, it has been a while since we actually do see a utility glaive. Blue City here, though, not having an easy time in that jungle with the amount of rotations coming out from Spaghetti on this Vox, and together with SNK on the Arden as well. Chingy doing a very good job pressurizing. Oh, DevQ.
DevQ going to get a little bit of poke onto Shingy, using that Afterburn to try and secure some CS. But Spaghetti's just going to rotate back up to lane. And yeah, there's been an awful lot of rotations from Infamous, but now it's a team fight. 3 versus 3. Everyone is in lane. DevQ with the 3 crystal items to get his perk unlocked. It's really a gold efficient build to go Heavy Prism, Eclipse Prism, and Crystal Bit. It's not too slot efficient, obviously using all 3 slots just for that. But it really is good if you haven't quite got the gold for Frostburn or for Shatterglass. Interesting Chakram, but it does help him secure all the waves. So well played, DefQ. He's farming up really well. It looks like he might have stolen some jungle from Bluxley, but really Bluxley's just been completely starved of his jungle. And actually DefQ is now going to be hyper farmed because Bluxley's thinking, yeah, I can get my... I'm not sure if that doesn't build into anything, the 6 Sins and Blazing Salvo, but he's going to build into the Spell Sword, as you said, with the Hourglass now built into Chronograph. So Bluxley is going to be just a support, as will Xingyi. So now we're going to see a Vox v Idris, and I was right about Vox. It's an early breaking point, probably into Tornado Trigger. Bluxley going in, that Man's Rush, he has got from Hell's Heart available, but no tier 3 items just yet, so probably not worth going too aggressive. But he's just going to camp in the top bush, and SNK knows he's there. Going to take a little bit of damage, but SNK will be absolutely fine. He can self-vanguard if necessary, and he will. Now, Impunity trying to push this wave up. Spaghetti did rotate down with Xingyi to get that mid-healing triumph. Now Xingyi to afterburn Idris. Wait for it, does come a bit wide. Bluxley's going to go in Deadman's Rush onto Spaghetti. Little bit of poke from Xingyi with that Twisted Stroke, and both teams going to back off to their own jungles.
Yep. The build coming up from Spaghetti, I must say it is rather peculiar. Very different build, just concentrating and just a lot of emphasis on attack speed. But with this build, I don't see how Spaghetti can actually sustain through the amount of burst that might just come out from the side of Impunity, because you know we saw this build before, and that is from EU, if I'm not wrong, with that breaking point into double Tornado Trigger. You have a lot of attack speed, you want to gradually build up your damage and of course your 100% crit as well, because breaking point provides you with that. But all in all, it takes a lot of times, it takes a lot of healing for you, and of course a lot of sustain as well that might just come from your team.
There's going to be the Devon from Hellsart, does sneak past SNK onto Spaghetti, but he's not going to deep. Just getting a bit of poke onto the captain. Now he's going to be punted back. And Fountain from Quadivore. That was a bit unnecessary to keep Bluxley alive. There's going to be the stun landing onto Spaghetti. He's going to jump away, but it will not be enough. Bluxley's going onto the back line, and that's a lovely afterburn and Fountain to keep Spaghetti alive. Spectral Smite nowhere near enough, and that is the first blood to Arden. Lovely Chakram to get one hit onto Spaghetti. And happy DefQ went Frostburn first. That's how I like my Idrises to play. Afterburn onto Quadivore. Spaghetti though baited into the kill, into the death. Sorry, and DefQ picks that one up to Xingyi, trying to be nice to his Vox, but ends up taking his life away. And now DefQ going to farm this wave onto Turret, and Xingyi looks like it's going for Spell Sword. No, he sold his Weapon Blade. He's going for Aftershock. I was hoping we'd see a Spell Sword Glaive, but not to be today.
Yep, I was hoping for that as well. And with a Spell Sword, when you are in the midst of fight, but generally he don't want to be in the midst of fight anyways. He wants to go in with an Afterburn, back off for a little, wait for the cooldown to come up, wait for Afterburn to come up at least, and then go in again with the Afterburn just to, you know, put anybody out of position. But that Afterburn then, that triggered Spaghetti to go in with
Speaking of going in, Bluxley's going in, so SNK taking so much damage. That is down into the from Hell's Heart, but that's the poor positioning from DefQ. He went far too aggressive, and the rest of his team were backing off. And now Bluxley's going in onto Spaghetti. Will be able to secure the kill with the Spectral Smite, but Xingyi on this Crystal Glaive can just afterburn for days, afterburn for years. Impunity could risk a gold mine, but Bluxley has very little gold mine taking skill without having a Storm Crown. So he's just going to go. Looks like Bluxley's going to try and find some jungle, but nothing's up. So a nice couple of kills for Impunity, but they're not going to get anything out of it.
Yep, definitely. So, there you go. SNK going in.
Maybe they want a bit more. SNK going to take a lot of damage from Bluxley. He's stacked, getting his Spectral Smite and run away from. He's just coming up to lane. And look at that wave for Vox to clear. With this a lot of attack speed, he'll clear it reasonably quickly. Yeah, we saw Tension Bow double Tornado Trigger and Breaking Point last item in the EU. SNK blocks the Blast Tremor, which blocks the core, so the Mercer's Pursuit, which would have stunned him out of his gauntlet. That is the next level thinking from SNK. Squad of was thinking, yeah, easy stun, out the gauntlet. SNK, no, I've got a reflex block. And it was kind of a waste of the Crucible, but it was worth it to get that gauntlet down. And Infamous do kind of waste that ultimate. Impunity looking for a fight because From Hell's Heart is not up in 20 seconds, so they're just going to farm.
Yep, probably Spaghetti will want to go for that Tyrant's Monaco and another Tornado Trigger at the end, just for that 100% crit. chance, but I guess Breaking Point do give you 100% crit chance once you get, you know, enough stacks on it. Altogether, it is still quite a mystery as to what Spaghetti will go, but if I can assure you that if Infamous can protect that of Spaghetti well, Spaghetti can definitely score a lot of triple kills, and on top of that as well, put out a lot of damage in that of the late game.
Speaking of damage, there's going to be the Chakram one hit on Spaghetti. DefQ has gone for the Frostburn Shatterglass build that we liked to see previously. He's going to work into Broken Myth next item. It really helps when people don't itemize early against you, just going for that pure crystal power. It is really effective. And yeah, DefQ going to be farming up a little bit of Bluxty's jungle. Now Bluxty manages to secure that one. And once again, Quadrivoire looking like he wants to go for maybe a null wave with that chronograph build up, but we're not quite sure. Chakram doesn't quite hit Spaghetti, but he's going onto the turret. Lots of damage. There is a Crucible available for SNK, so Quadrivoire Blast Jam will most likely be blocked. That means the from Hell's Heart won't be unless Spaghetti and Shingy bring out their own blocks, and now they want the turret. SNK going in. That's going to be Vox jumping away. Vanguard back to Spaghetti. Shingy going to be just waiting for a good afterburn position. Has got the Storm Crown aftershock completed on this glaive. So on hit glaive, going to see what's going to be happening, and there's going to be a lot of damage onto SNK. Blast Hammer easily blocked out by SNK. That was a little bit too obvious from Quadrivoire, and he is very low on energy, so probably doesn't want to fight, but a lovely double Chakram onto SNK, forcing the healing flask out. Quadrivoire very low, waiting for the stun. He's going to use it onto... He would stun SNK at the corner, but it did not work. That is from Hell's Heart, blocked by Shingy, body blocked, but not actually reflex blocked. Now that is Bluxty atlasing Vox. Vox has nothing when he's atlas with this Breaking Point Tornado Trigger build. Now DefQ is just free to deal some damage. Shingy gonna boots him, but not going to go too aggressive. And now DefQ is still full health. Spaghetti with a good dodge on the Chakram, and Infamous happily going to take one kill.
Yep, happily taking one kill, but honestly not much objective tunnel visioning coming out from both teams. Granted, Infamous did manage to take the first tier turret of Impunity, but that is because Quadrivoire was just so concentrated on a team fight earlier on and just ignored the fact that Spaghetti was just taking the turret under their nose, and that is something that Impunity probably have to work on. Spaghetti at this point in time definitely going for the second tornado trigger, if I'm not wrong. If the build that Spaghetti is coming out with, very paper, I would prefer if Slumbering Husk is built that so he can sustain a little more. But with the amount of CCs coming out from the side of Impunity, I guess the reflex block would work wonders. If not, then at least a Crucible as well adds more health, gives you more health. And
the problem with going for Slumbering Husk is against the CP Idris, one Chakram and your Husk is procced and it's then useless. So I think you have to get the ADC. That would have almost procced us there with 400 damage. Last time not blocked up, and that is a Vox wait for it used as well. Atlas was not blocked. Bluxty's going to take loads of damage, but Vox is not going to do that much in return with the Atlas. It has now worn off. Bluxty is just waiting. Fountain used very preemptively by Infamous, and now Quadrivoire going to not quite stun Spaghetti out of the ult, and Spaghetti will fall, and that's a double kill for Idris. Can DefQ do it? Onto Shingy. That's one Chakram hit. Shingy is going to get a double onto Idris. Now it's Quadrivoire once again. We've got a Catherine via glaive. Who's going to get the kill? Quadrivoire has got the Storm Guard, and Shingy will not afterburn Quadrivoire with that Storm Guard active. In the end, it looks like it will be 2 for 2, but Shingy's got Storm Guard, Shingy's got afterburn, and Quadrivoire's got Storm Guard. So Quadrivoire thinking he can take this, and no, both players going to back off.
Yeah, both players will be backing off indeed, and with Chingy and that consistent afterburn coming up every 5 seconds or so, it is definitely, Chingy really has to use those afterburn really strategically. It's either you use it as a peel or a direct engage, whereas for Spaghetti going for this very glass cannon-y build, I reckon Chingy really has to peel for Spaghetti and hard peel for Spaghetti. Arden can provide a health barrier for Spaghetti all in all, but the issue with the high health barrier is that it doesn't block or anything. It just helps you sustain a little more damage coming out from your enemies. And looking over at Blue City's build, he do not quite have a lot of damage. Instead, he is just tanking up, like I mentioned earlier on.
Yep, SNK taking a little bit of poke from Idris, has got a Broken Myth completed now. We'll be stacking up on Shingy, a little bit of damage on the turret, but way up in 5 seconds again. Quadrivoire using that Storm Guard, looking to see for possibly an entrance to use that Blast Tremor. Spaghetti needs to infuse, but has got 4 completed. Breaking Point Double Tornado and Tyrant is a real menace to try and face against, but Bluxty has obviously got an Atlas, and so has Cour d'Ivoire, so they needed Atlas Chain Spaghetti, and that will be a reasonably easy counter. SNK taking a lot of poke. Bluxty just waiting in the bush. Who's going to go and engage? Will Impunity try and siege this turret with their Crystal Idris, or are they going to go and engage and try and dive in on Spaghetti? DefQ looking to shotgun the turret, but he's not actually going to go for it. He's just going to try and shotgun for damage on Vox, and now Impunity looking to rotate down and either start up this Kraken or just wait in the bush. And Bluxty was spotted out. He's still going to wait in the bush though, and Infamous need to port home to get some vision to know where Bluxty is.
Yep, definitely. So we will be reaching a stage where both of these teams are very well known for just very big respects for each other. They did not want to make a fatal mistakes. All in all, Infamous at this point in time just looking slightly better with the tier 1 turret still intact, and of course a 1.5k gold lead over to them. And Impunity, they are not very far back behind, and they really need to have the initiative to go in and just force a team fight, because they have got so much CC, and as long as they take down Spaghetti, honestly the entirety of Infamous do not quite have damage whatsoever anymore.
Yeah, Spaghetti is really the main target. Shingi going for really peel for Spaghetti. So Bluxty has to block the afterburn and then try and just Atlas the Vox, completely annihilate him, and then they'll be in a good position. No Wave Gauntlet is actually a really good item against SNK, because it means can't use the Crucible, can't Water Heads for Spaghetti if they choose the right time. There's a Boomerang on the ultimate, and it will be blocked by SNK, and that will be on a silence actually going down because the Crucible's wasted on the From Hell's Heart. But is it a waste if they get the kill onto Cruel? Shingi doing so much damage and isn't even low. Spaghetti is on the back line just waiting to poke, still needs to buy himself an infusion. But that fight, even though there was no one infused for Infamous, they still win the fight and get one kill.
Yep, and I think it was just down to the positioning and the fact that a lucky Crucible blocked out the silence and blocked out From Hell's Heart as well, and that was very, very crucial for Infamous to win any team fight. And there was one team fight that Impunity got on top of Infamous, and that was because SNK missed a single block on Catherine's not Merciless Pursuit per se, but it was missing the Blast Tremor, the block on Blast Tremor, and thus Impunity can immediately jump on Spaghetti, remove Spaghetti from the fight, and just turn on that to SNK, and then ultimately Chingy. But you know, Chingy managed to get away with the infinite afterburns that he has. But all in all, it is just down to SNK, and a lot of pressure on SNK, to be honest, to be able to block out those Merciless Pursuit, not Merciless Pursuit per se, but just the Blast Tremors. So as long as SNK can block those out, then it is almost a definite win for the side of Infamous. I do not say it is 100%, but very highly likely.
Yeah, Cour d'Ivoire really needs to get that null wave off onto SNK before either Blast Tremor or From Hell's Heart comes through. Because the From Hell's Heart was nice, it was easily blocked. It would have been such an easy kill if that max range Boomerang Bull Ultimate actually impacts and hits someone. So Cour d'Ivoire needed to null wave before the Cruel ulted, or just as Cruel starts that max range ult, so that it cannot you cannot block both with a Crucible, and then it becomes easy for Impunity. As you said, when they have no peel with their Arden, then it becomes Spaghetti becomes basically a sitting duck. Now Cour d'Ivoire, bit of damage, a little one stack, and Infusion has run out for Bluxty and Xingyi. So Xingyi does want to rotate down. Bluxty is ready to go to shot, but doesn't want to pick up an Infusion just yet. And now Infamous are going to rotate down. Xingyi has got a Crucible himself, so that's really smart, so that they can Crucible From Hell's Heart and they can Crucible the Blast Tremor. And let's see how well Infamous can use their blocks successfully, because if SNK gets item silent, Xingyi's going to have to step up and block the Blast Tremors. Shouldn't be too hard as long as they have vision on Catherine, but how are they going to get vision if their captain is silenced and can't throw out flares? That's a bit of a problem. And now Impunity going to go forwards. Cour d'Ivoire's just waiting. He's probably got his finger on the item silence, just ready to go in. But no, Bluxty's been flared out, so he's not going to go too aggressive. And DefQ doesn't really want to poke too far because he can get after him by Glaive. Cour d'Ivoire is going to go in with the Merciless Pursuit, waiting to find someone. There's such a stalemate. We're already 20 minutes into this game almost, and it just feels like we're 10 minutes in because we haven't seen many fights. Oh. Is Nope going to wait out the afterburn? Now SNK might be the target. Nope, he's going to find out a way. Impunity just going to keep waiting. 19.5 minutes now into the game, and Cour d'Ivoire going to get one more stack, and nothing else really going to happen. Nice Broken Myth stacking up for DefQ. Got up to 2 stacks. One more basic and Shaq will be really good. But that's about 50 damage onto the turret after the barrier was taken into account. And now Impunity just rotate down once again and pick up some infusions.
Yep, all in all, it is the calm before the storm, and when it hits, it will hit very, very hard, and might just be the deciding factor between the win or loss, or win or lose between both of this team, Impunity and Infamous. At least Spaghetti just hiding in a very safe position, but I do not understand, honestly, the
another 50 damage down to the turret.
Oh, SNK.
Oh, SNK! That is SNK out of position. He's going to block down the blast hammer. He's going to go down with the gauntlet. Great wait for it from Vox. Did silence up a couple of members, but Vox is now Atlas, so he has almost 0 damage. DefQ's gone so low. One attack from Vox is enough. Doesn't matter if you're Atlas, if you can get a basic attack to secure the kill. Infamous finally take a fight, and Quadabar gets Afterburn. He will be able to run away towards his Crystal Sentry and probably not to die. Scrap that. Glaze got an Afterburn. Quadabar's gone. Ace for Infamous, and that is reasonably long death timers, and that will be an easy Kraken. What happened? SNK got caught out, but then they turned the fight around, Luxuria.
Yep, SNK got caught out right there, burned the Crucible to throw down the Gauntlet. Infamous immediately responded. Chingy came in with an Afterburn, and of course, Spaghetti with that silence as well, immediately just chaining all the CCs they need to chain before Quasarvo can put out anything whatsoever. As we can tell, now we've gone wasn't used whatsoever, and thus the activatables were all popped, keeping SNK. I think SNK was down to a 3rd health, and from then on it was just down to Chingy with those very crucial afterburns, and Spaghetti just allowed to poke from the backlines.
Yeah, definitely. That was extremely well played by Infamous, despite SNK seemingly getting out. Maybe that was did get their captain a bit low, so it forces them to do something actually for the fight. Now Idris will do quite well at poking this Kraken down. Now Infamous will want to try and win off this Kraken push. Atlas does not land onto any of the carries, and the Atlas return by Quadavoir does actually get blocked by Spaghetti. There's the first gauntlet, and the Blast Hammer straight up not blocked by Vox. But DefQ is going to try and as much time as he can. Glaive gets the turret, and now Shingy is going very low. Spectrus might not quite enough. DefQ going on to Spaghetti, lots of damage, but an afterburn from Shingy to kite back and heal for Spaghetti. Shingy will fall, and so will SNK, and so will Spaghetti, but the Kraken bearing down on the Vein Crystal turrets will get the second one, but not going to get all 3. So Infamous going to be reasonably happy with that, although it looks like they're probably going to lose their own turret, given how long. Look at those death timers. 22 minutes into the game. Impunity could push down one turret if they want to, but it looks like they're just going to back off. And DefQ's actually got a Crucible to try and help with the echoed gauntlet that SNK is going to put down.
Yep, 30 seconds across death timer. It takes about 20 seconds to walk down at first turret. If Quatavo is willing to tank, they can definitely push down this first turret. But however, Impunity will just be relaxed, laid back, and just look for another fight, hopefully. If not, they have about 10 seconds left. DefQ definitely pushing hard.
Yeah, DefQ easily going to be able to get this tier 1 turret with wave. Finally gets it down after 23 minutes. And is he going to go for the tier 2? This is a risk. Hey, damage on it. Damage and back off. Very smart from DefQ, because it would have been the game. And there's the gauntlet. They're going to go in. He rolls out of the gauntlet. Echo was used by SNK. Second gauntlet comes down, but Fox is outside it. And Dave punts Luxury back into the gauntlet wall. That is a great Atlas by Quadavoir. SNK going so low. And the block and the rush. And the second one will all by Shingy, and the echo on the afterburn from Glaive gets Bluxity into a wall, and Spaghetti's going to go very low, he's going to block the Atlas, and he will get the kill onto Bluxity. Now Spaghetti is still healthy, and the DefQ is going to get punted into Spaghetti, and he gets the kill. Maybe that wasn't quite what Shingy wanted. DefQ is going to try and run, but there's a Crystal Sentry, and Shingy gets the second kill. SNK is going to give Shingy a little bit of a speed boost, 3 seconds till that afterburn. Echo is up as well. Quadavoir, you're not getting away from this. There's one afterburn, there's another, get punted away, and he's going to use the Echo as well himself. And the Storm Gun is available. Shingy going to try and do what he can. Quadavoir is on the Sentry, but there's another afterburn. Atlas does come through, but will it be enough? Idris up in 30 seconds, Crawl up in 23, and they're not going to go for the win, Luxuria. They're going for Kraken. Yet another fight will happen.
Yep, another fight would happen, but this time Blue City will be up much sooner. I guess Chingy with the very low cooldowns on those afterburns definitely playing a part, and we do see the amount of damage coming out from those little puns as well that Chingy puts out. But it is just down to Spaghetti. Spaghetti as a Fox, you really... I mean, granted, you have very good damage with your current build, and you really rely on SNK. Very nice echo on that afterbird. But really rely on SNK and Chingy to keep you alive. But you are the main target after all, and with the amount of attack speed that you have, it is just so very difficult, you know, to just dance around the fold with Blue City on this crew that can just easily stick onto you. And on top of that as well, Death Kill with Shimmer Strike can just be into you, you know, when he's in danger, and then come out again, immediately execute you on that exit, and then you will be in for a very tough time.
Infamous are waiting in the top bush, but they have to run out now because the Kraken is there. Gauntlet wasted, not going to get any stun. Second Gauntlet. Spaghetti from Hell's Heart does land, and Aegis starts to track on the... That is disaster for Impunity. Blue City's going to try and get on to Spaghetti, and that is done by the Captain Mercer Pursuit. He will be able to pick up him, but Shingy is afterburning onto the target. Kraken is full health. Another stun by Quarterbar on Shingy. Shingy, so much health. Look at that. The Vayne Crystal target is going to fall, and the Vayne is left open. A block on the Mercer's Pursuit. Shingy's still full health pretty much, and that will be Game 3 going to Infamous.
That will be Game 3 going over to Infamous indeed. Definitely very well played, and very interesting as well, coming through from Chingy and this very innovative utility glaive build that we haven't quite seen for a while now. So Infamous, congratulations for taking the first spot in this current week, and of course Impunity on second place.
Yeah, well played to Infamous. In the end, there were 3 echoes on the fold, one